Hi guys, today we're taking a look at the new PlayStation 5 Slim console. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. So I'll take a look at the packaging and see what's inside the box, taking a closer look at the new console and see what, if any, differences there are between this and the original PS5, highlighting any pros and cons to give you a better idea if it's worth getting or not. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of my next release. And if you have any questions, then drop them in the comment section below. The new PS5 Slim comes in a white box with the PlayStation Blue on the top, with the PlayStation logo and symbols, but no handle with the box, looking very similar with it being slightly smaller than the original PS5 packaging. Taking a closer look on the front, you have a picture of the new PS5 Slim with half a DualSense controller popping up at the bottom. You've got the PlayStation logo and PS5 written to the side. Turning the box to the left and you have a picture of the console and the DualSense controller. To the right there's a PlayStation logo and PS5, and coming around the back there's some pictures of some games, and again a picture of the console and the DualSense controller. So let's open this up. Inside the packaging you get a power cable, a bag containing the feet, a USB-C charging cable, a HDMI 2.1 cable, a white DualSense controller which is exactly like the original, some documentation, and finally the PlayStation 5 Slim. Taking a closer look at the console, and it does look good. It has a similar design to the original PS5, but it looks a lot smaller and thinner. It has the PlayStation symbols at the bottom of the console that stick out slightly, and you now have 4 panels instead of 2. There's a slight gap between the top and bottom panels, which goes from the front of the console to the back in a diagonal line, which I think looks pretty cool. The top 2 panels have a glossy finish to it, and the bottom 2 panels have a matte white finish. The middle panel of the console is still black with a glossy finish, and you have the small PlayStation symbols inside of the panel like before. The panels can be removed easily by lifting here and here, but currently there isn't any replacement covers for it, so it'll be interesting to see what PlayStation releases for this first. Connection wise, the console is slightly different from the original PS5, as it now has 2 USB-C ports on the front, together with a power button and an eject button. On the back you have 2 USB-A ports, a LAN port, a HDMI port, and a power input port, together with a Kensington locking point. Unlike the original console, this one doesn't come with a stand. Instead you get 2 small plastic feet, which you can insert into the gap between the 2 plates, so you can rest the console horizontally with the PlayStation symbols at the bottom, providing additional stability. There's no stand provided to give additional support when the console is placed vertically, and this is where PlayStation have been a little bit cheeky, I'd say, as they sell the stand separately for just under £25 or $30 US, but you can stand it vertically regardless without any issues. And just to note, if you have the original PlayStation 5, then you can't use that stand with the new console, but you can use the new stand with both the original and new console. Let's get this set up and ready to use to see if there's anything different. Plug in the power input, the HDMI cable and the LAN cable, then power it on via the power button. Once it starts up, the LEDs on the front turn on, and this is different as their location is now at the bottom, whereas before they were at the top. But they still turn initially blue, and once it starts up, it goes white, which is the same as before. Next, connect up the controller with the Type-C cable you get in the packaging, and the other end plugs into the console. Then press the PS logo, and the console will pick up the controller. Now you can remove the cable or leave it plugged in to charge the controller. Let me quickly run through the setup. Select your language, turn off the screen reader if you didn't want it, adjust the display area, adjust HDR settings, and if there was a disc with the console, you can insert it in now. We'll continue without the disc. Power options for rest mode, I'll go for low power use, accept the license agreement, update the system software. So this initially downloads it, it then prepares the console for the first update to be installed and restarts. Once restarted, the console begins installing the update and then restarts again. You can then take the controller, press the PS logo, and either create a new account or sign in with an existing account. I'll sign in with my existing account using my mobile by scanning in the QR code on the screen. Once signed in, you can secure your account, enable console sharing and offline play, transfer data from another console, which I'll do later, and that's it. As simple as that to set up. You get presented with one game pre-installed, which is Astro's Playroom, and looking in settings, storage, you can see it has more storage than the original, which had 825 gigs, of which 667 gigs was usable. And with the new PS5 Slim, you have 1 terabyte of storage, of which 848 gigabytes is usable, which is excellent as it helps to store a few more games. All other specs are the same, including the SSD bay. So if you did find yourself running out of space, you could extend the storage with an M.2 SSD, or you could use an external hard disk as a cheaper alternative. I'll include links in the description below to videos showing how to set that up if you're planning to do this. Now there's 2 versions of the console available, like the original, where there's a digital version and a disc version. But with the new console, if you did initially buy the digital version, which costs just under £390, you can upgrade it and add in a disc drive separately for just under £100. So overall the cost would be £10 more than buying the PS5 Slim with the disc drive, so you wouldn't be making any savings here. An interesting feature on the new console is that you can easily remove the disc drive. On the disc version, just remove the panel, and underneath the drive there's a small gap. Just place your finger in and lift off the disc drive so you can remove it. So when they have replacement covers available for the digital version, you could buy some to turn it into the digital version, making it even slimmer and more compact. So let's do a side-by-side comparison with the original PS5, and straight away you can see the size difference between the two. It's 30% smaller and slimmer when you look from the middle, with it being a lot shorter as well. I've added the dimensions of both the consoles on the screen to show the differences. So you're probably wondering, is the new PlayStation 5 Slim worth getting? Features wise, it's 30% smaller and slimmer with a different design to the plates. If you bought the digital version, you're now able to buy a disc drive at a later stage if you found you wanted it, which is excellent news. On the front there's now 2 USB Type-C ports, which could be a hassle if you have a racing wheel, as the majority of them come with a USB-A cable to connect to the console, so you might have to buy an extension lead to reach around the back to plug it in. Storage wise, it comes with just 181 gigs more. The original console did reduce in price around Black Friday, with it being £90 cheaper than the Slim for a few weeks, but after that the price returned back to the same amount as the Slim. But with the Slim there's no additional performance advantage, so if the original console does drop in price again, with that difference you could just buy the original console plus a 1TB M.2 SSD and expand it to save yourself some money. But if it's the same price, you might as well buy the latest console, because either way, performance and spec wise, it's exactly the same console with just a little bit more storage. But overall, I do really like the look of the new PlayStation 5 Slim. So there you have it. You've come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. If you have any questions on this, let me know in the comments below. For those of you who got to the end of this video, please leave a comment with PS5 Slim, as it's awesome to see who's got to the end of my video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You can follow me on my socials. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.